I think most people would agree with me that pancakes just aren't pancakes without maple syrup. And what could be better than real maple syrup that you make yourself? A few years ago, Nathan Schonberg was looking for a good family project to do with his children and decided to try his hand at tapping trees to make maple syrup. He graciously allowed us to tag along one day.
15 years ago, my grandpa suggested to me, why don't you guys tap maple trees as a family project? But we had 3 children, 4 and under, and felt overwhelmed. And it took us 15 years to finally figure, let's give it a try. I have 300 taps right now, about 90 here and a 210 at another property. Last year we did approximately 200 taps. We made 50 gallons of syrup. That was enough for our liberal needs.
Yeah, no kidding.
And to be generous and to with some friends and to sell some to the vegetable truck in town.
That must take quite an investment to tap that many trees.
A little investment in the evaporator, but my evaporator is just a stainless steel bulk tank. The biggest investment is time. I like to find something that's there for the taking, where you can change a natural product into something valuable by adding effort. These 2 are fairly nice maple trees, and they need to be about 8 inches minimum diameter to put a tap in them. Tap hole from last year, and there should be another one on here from the year before. That's, I think, a 2-year-old hole. You want to actually avoid drilling in that location ever again. It stains the wood. When we put a new hole, we want to stay 2 inches away laterally and 6 inches away vertically with a new hole. If you have a pattern, well, you kind of can do a spiral around the tree for many years of drilling. This was last year. I'm going to put a hole over here. And when you drill, you want to have about a 10-degree angle on your hole so that the sap drains out and doesn't pool in there. Going about 3 inches. You're gonna get me a spile. Get me one without a tube on it, okay?
Okay.
This is actually a beverage fitting. It's a stainless steel 3/8 barbed tee. I found a source online. It was less expensive than the commercial spiles, and it's very reusable. Being stainless steel, I can sanitize it. And now this one I have pre-attached the tube to this one, and that's how we actually did most of them. I just have to aim a little better when I'm pounding it in. Supposedly the south side of a tree can produce earlier. I'm encouraged. There's supposed to be a low pressure system moving in, and what expels the sap from the tree is a difference in pressure from the pressure in the tree to the atmospheric pressure. So when we get a low pressure system moving in,
That's good.
we might get a run tonight,
Sure.
even, or later this evening. Every tree produces at a different rate. Some of my best trees have filled a 5-gallon pail in a 24-hour period. But if I get a gallon per tap in a 24-hour period, then it would be worth collecting. Half a gallon we'd be collecting it.
Sure.
But right now we can look in some of the other pails, and there's just little dribbles. That's how much we got today, I guess.
How much sap do you need to make maple syrup?
Typically is 35 to 40 gallons of sap for 1 gallon of syrup. It's all dependent on the weather. It needs to freeze at night and be above freezing in the day. And that will create the pressure difference in the tree. A university that studies what makes a sap run, they actually put a pressure gauge on the tree, and it would rise and fall according to the cycle of a thaw at night.
collecting all the buckets. And we're leaving out the taps. If we might end up getting more sap, then we can just come out and put the buckets back.
The unusual weather meant a very light sap harvest in the spring of 2012, but there was still enough to boil down into syrup.
Got the lid on that.
Yep.
And that strainer.
Is that Mr. Weisel here?
No. I have one more stack of buckets to just pick up when we get out on the road. Well, we set one on the ground here. If we get sprayed a little more directly. I still need that.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Not that far.
Get one of those pieces of tin and lean it up against this side of the cooker.
Okay.
Turnbuckle braces look like?
No.
Or Benjamin? You know what like turnbuckle braces are?
No.
Boiling 40 gallons of sap down to get about 1 gallon of syrup can take several hours. And it's getting late, so we'll head home and come back later to see what the end product is like. We were invited to come back for one of the Schonberg family's traditions. On Saturday mornings, Dad cooks pancakes, and everyone sits down to enjoy the fruits of their labors.
Ready for one loop. Yes.
And what a blessing it is.